Hey guys, I'm here with another bonus draft video. This time it's a triple Mirrodin draft. As I mentioned last week when I did a triple 8th edition draft online right now on Magic Online, they're doing a new different flashback format every week. I'm going to try to record one every week. So far I'm 2 for 2. Let's hope I can keep it up. Before the draft starts, I wanted to say my videos are also posted on paperchampion.net. As well as a lot of other good content is there as well. So if you're looking for more Magic the Gathering content, you should go check that out. So Mirrodin, triple Mirrodin draft is something I drafted in paper way back in the day when it was like the format people were drafting. But it's been a long time. I have more recently when they did flashback of Mirrodin block, like last year I did it. So I am familiar with that. Okay, well, Grid Monitor is not a card you want. It is a card that's fun in decks where you try to give people spells that you have. Negative things that you have. Spike Shot Goblin is one of the best cards in the format, like, period. I'm trying to see if there's anything in this pack that even comes close, and the answer looks like it's no. I mean, Shatter is worth thinking about. Removal like this, if you don't know, Mirrodin's all about artifacts. Removal like Shatter, which is normally like, I'll put it in my sideboard. I'll probably side it in once every 40 drafts. But in this format, Shatter is main deckable because artifacts are the thing. There's really not anything else in this pack that even competes with Spike Shot Goblin. Slith Ascendant's fine. The artifact lands are surprisingly good because you want to control a lot of artifacts. Pewter Golem, also better than he looks, I think, because he hits hard and he regenerates. It's important to remember creatures in these old sets aren't nearly as good as they are now. Spells are generally stronger, and that's true of Spike Shot Goblin. Of this set as well, and Spike Shot Goblin is an example of a card that today would still be a pretty good card, but not nearly as good as it turns out Spike Shot Goblin actually is. Okay, well, Talismans are nice because they help you ramp. Relic Bane's okay. I don't think I want that, though. Deconstruct is very good, and I think that's probably what I take. Hematite Golem's worth looking at. So is Clan Grunt. The Mir are all good, or Mir, or however you choose to say that, because they can hold equipment, which is a thing in this set, and most of the equipment in this set is overpowered. We haven't seen any of it yet, because it was the first time they printed equipment and they didn't really know what they were doing. So the Mirror are good because they both ramp you and can hold equipment, but I think we go with the good removal spell. It is sorcery speed, but the fact that it, potentially lets you play another spell on the same turn is nice. I think we take Deconstruct here. We do get the best removal in the format, basically, in these two colors. So if they stay open, I think we're pretty happy about our color selection. Okay, 12 Eyes is a good card. So is Granite Shard, though. But 12 Eyes is a good, win condition. Don't really want Seething Song. Sky Hunter Cub is worth looking at. As I mentioned, there's a lot of equipment here, and it's good. Galvanic Key, you can abuse some artifacts with it, but you don't want to take it before you have them. Somber Hover Guard's better than it looks. For me, I think it's either Granite Shard or 12 Eyes. The fact that Granite Shard can ping things is pretty great. It's either Granite Shard or 12 Eyes. I think I'll take the Shard. We probably are going to end up wanting some artifacts for various purposes, like, Clan Grunt. And I think Granite Shard's pretty good, so I will take it. Okay, Living Hive is also pretty good. We do have to end up with some ramp, but that thing quickly becomes a problem. Golem Skin Gauntlets, again, not one of the more overpowered equipment I was talking about. Pyrite Spellbomb is probably the best spellbomb, at least in limited. Viridian Longbow's actually a good equipment, but it's not one that goes real well with Spike Shot Goblin because it doesn't raise his power at all, and Spike Shot Goblin does damage equal to his power. So if I were confident I'd be able to build a ramp deck, I'd probably take the Hive, but I'm not. So I don't think that's what I take. I think I just take a Pyrite Spellbomb here, a removal spell that can also be a cantrip, and it's an artifact, which, we do want those. We'll pick up plenty of them. It's worth noting green has protection from artifacts all over the place. We wouldn't mind picking up a few of those cards either, but I think we take the Pyrite Spellbomb for now. Okay, Creeping Mold is pretty good. It's a little clunkier than some of the other removal. Trolls of Tel Jalad. That's a card I had no recollection of, so I had to look at it. I thought maybe he had protection from artifacts. Most of the Tel Jalad things do, like Tel Jalad Archers. Liar's Pendulum, a fun casual card, but not really what we want here. So Creeping Mold's good removal, like I noted. Predator Strike is a good trick. It's actually better than most tricks we see these days. We don't normally get 2 for +3/+3 and Trample these days. Like 2 for +2/+2 and Trample is pretty standard, but 2 for +3/+3 is pretty sweet. I'm leaning towards Creeping Mold here, though. This pack otherwise isn't ultra exciting for us, and the Mold gives us a good removal spell. Fractured Loyalty is a card that can steal stuff, but I don't think does so real effectively. Yeah, not really. I only gain control of stuff if I target their stuff. Stalking Stones is a cool man land because it's one of the few that actually stays a land forever. I mean, a man forever. Needle Bug, not bad. It has flash and protection from artifacts, so that could cause some problems. Irradiate, one of the good black removal spells if we happen to be in black, and Nim Shrieker is a good card to have if you're in black too. Steel Wall, Needle Bug, and Stalking Stones are what I'm looking at here. Elf Replica's okay, but I feel like I can pick up a card I'll definitely play. And I think I'll take the Needle Bug. I think the flash on it, we don't have hardly any creatures yet either, so it'd be nice to have some of those, I think. So Slith Predator, not awesome. You know, Leonin Blade Trap's pretty cool. I mean, you have to have 5 mana available, but then it does 2 damage to each attacking creature at instant speed, basically. It's pretty sweet. I don't really think I want Krark Clan Shaman. It's not a bad sideboard card, I guess. Yeah, this pack's not really there for us. I think I'll take the good trick, even though we don't have a lot in the ways. It's hard to fit tricks in this format, too, because you want to have so many equipment, but we'll take a trick. We haven't picked up any equipment yet. Okay, Fangren Hunter still being here is a good sign. This is a card that today would probably make the cut 60-70% of the time in a limited format in a green deck, but in this format it's like the best common creature because the creatures just aren't that good. So although the flying Nim that we saw is pretty good, but he needs a lot to go right for him to work really well. And Fangren Hunter is just a beater no matter what. Surprise, surprise! Grid Monitor made it back to us. Turn to Dust isn't bad if we end up playing someone with a lot of equipment, and someone's got to have it because we didn't get any. I don't really want Omega Mur or Ogre Leadfoot. I'd rather have Turn to Dust than Heartwood Shard too. It's going to be a sideboard card more than anything, but okay. I think here I will take Slagworm Armor. It may or may not make the cut. Well, I actually may take Krark Clan Grunt. Yeah, I will actually. I changed my mind. He'll probably make the cut, and he's a fine card, although not super exciting. All right, we'll take a Tree of Tales, up our artifact count. Not upset with doing that, and I actually think those lands are all worth a decent amount because everyone plays them in Pauper. Don't want Grofskither. He's kind of cool, I guess, but if he'd cost 4 or something, he'd be or 5 even. 6 is bad. I'll take an Omega Mur for sideboard. You know, if we see a lot of one toughness creatures like those Nim creatures, then Omega Mur is not a bad thing to side in. Yeah, I'll take Synod Sanctum, another card that probably isn't going to make the cut for us, but that's okay. Okay, well, I'll take Necrogen Spellbomb. It's fine. So the rares you want to open if you end up drafting this week are Oblivion Stone, which is worth a massive amount of money. Glimmer Void, Chalice of the Void, Chrome Mox. Those are the ones that are worth like a lot. Goblin Charbelcher, Mesmeric Orb, Tooth and Nail, or other things that are worth a decent amount. Okay, Glissa Sunseeker is pretty powerful in this format. She can destroy a lot of, basically, you know, at least half the permanents or so that one sees. It can even destroy artifact lands for nothing, and she's a 4-mana 3/2 first strike. And we're already in green, so all those things make me want to take her. Leonin Scimitar is one of the good removal spell equipment that I'd like to get, but we're not taking it here because Glissa's too good. Pyrite Spellbomb, also good, wouldn't mind it wheeling. Same with Tel Jalad Chosen. Of all of these, Tel Jalad Chosen's probably the most likely to wheel, but yeah, we'll take the Sunseeker here. We wouldn't mind picking up some removal that's for more than just artifacts. I mean, we have Granite Shard and Spike Shot Goblin, um, but I think we want more. Ooh, Bosch. Man. Should be building a ramp deck, I guess. When we've seen Bosch, we've seen Living Hive. We could have had a couple 8-drops. There's another Granite Shard here, but I don't love it. Goblin Replica is pretty good. It's a 3-mana beater, can hold equipment, and can destroy a lot of permanents in the format. Telgelad Exile is pretty good, but I think I'm going to go with the Goblin. The Malachite Golem's also worth looking at, but I like the Goblin who can actually like destroy stuff. So the Myr there was also worth looking at, and maybe should have even taken it, but I like the Replica. So we do have some pretty good removal, I would say. Arcslogger. Not as good in this format as he is in Constructed because of the fact that your library is not that big, but he's still a 5-mana 4/5. There's also another Leonin Scimitar here, though. We actually don't have that much red. We could totally change up our secondary color, I guess, although the Spike Shot Goblin and the Pyrite Spellbomb, and the Granite Shard and the Goblin Replica, they're not actually red, but they're basically red, so never mind. So it's either Arcslogger or Leonin Scimitar here. Telgelad Exile, Telgelad Chosen are both good as well, but I think these two, I think the Scimitar and the Arcslogger are better. I mean, I think I'll have a chance to pick up like another Fangren Hunter-esque creature, which is mostly what Arcslogger will be. I don't know that I'll get another chance to pick up a Scimitar, so I think I take the Scimitar. It's a very good equipment, so I like it. Elf Replica, Mirror Retriever, it's not bad. Temporal Cascade's cool, but not what we were looking for. Shatter, I guess, is probably what we take here. It's not, I mean, it's pretty good, as I mentioned earlier. I would like to pick up some more creatures, and Mirror Retriever is worth looking at, but I don't think our deck has enough artifacts at this point, although Mirror Retriever plus Pyrite Spellbomb's pretty nice, things like that, but I think for now I just go for the Shatter. Altar's Light is a good removal spell, but a clunky one. Another Deconstruct. We're kind of building like a red-green control deck because we keep picking up all these things. Fist of the Anvil works pretty nicely with Spike Shot Goblin, but I think I have to take Deconstruct. Volshock Berserker, another card that doesn't look that good to the modern, the current sets standards for draftable creatures, but it's actually pretty good. But yeah, we'll take Deconstruct here. It's nice that we can deconstruct and then use the mana to use Granite Shard or whatever. Wormskin Forger is probably, it's a pretty bad card. I'm always surprised. I mean, I guess it's a little better in these olden days, but I can't get over what it is. Blinkmoth Well, I can tap down non-creature artifacts. I don't think I really want to do that. Goblin Striker is good if you get a lot of equipment, but we don't have that. I think I just take another replica here. Spellweaver Helix is a cool card, but, mostly a constructed casual card. I think we just take Stalking Stones here. I think black must be pretty open with Nim Shrieker and Irradiate still here. But yeah, I'll take the Stalking Stones. Goblin War Wagon is a card that just looks god-awful, but is actually better than he looks. One of those cards that's better now than it was in the olden days, and I think I'll take the War Wagon. Better than it looks because of what we're used to seeing today, but he's pretty good. He's easy to cast. Okay, I'm happy to take a Telgelad Chosen. So our deck, if we go up against like decks that are like all about, and I'll take a Telgelad Exile, that are all about the artifacts, is going to be in pretty good shape. Volshock Berserker is worth looking at, but I think I like the Exile more. Blood Scent, no thanks. Lifespark Spellbomb's not bad. It may not make our deck as easily as its Pyrite counterpart, but it's pretty good. It's not amazing. I guess Ogre Leadfoot isn't an awful sideboard card, or I could just take the cool rare that I might use someday. I'll take Ogre Leadfoot. At least it's a playable in my colors, I guess. Okay, well, I'm going to take this away from somebody. It's definitely the best card of those left. It gets pretty problematic quickly. I guess I'll take Blinkmoth Well. Who knows? Maybe I go against someone who has a really good non-creature artifact and I want to side it in. So we've got lots of good removal. a few good creatures, but I think what I'd like the most are cards that can deal with non-artifacts that are removal, and some more good creatures. I think those are the things we're looking for the most in this last pack. But our deck's, I think, coming along fairly well. We can destroy a lot of artifacts, that's for sure. See if we can open up another on-color rare, and we cannot. We open Shared Fate, which is a cool card, but not really something we want, I don't think. Volshock Gauntlets is not a bad card, especially since we have Spike Shot Goblin, and it gives... We have like Deconstruct. We can use the mana to, untap. It's also good with Goblin War Wagon, who untaps if you pay 2, even though because he already does an untap in your untap step. I think I might take the Gauntlets. It kind of sucks as a first pick, but I think 2 Deconstructs is enough. I don't think I need a third one. I don't think Clark Clan Grunt is good enough to warrant me thinking about it. This is a really freaking strong card can be just a beating, but we're not in black, obviously. But if you can entwine that, I don't care that you had to sacrifice 3 lands. You can do it at instant speed, kill their best creatures, steal it, and then just win the game, basically. But yeah, I think we'll take the Gauntlets. Bottle Gnomes is fine and worth looking at, but I think we need some equipment to make our Spike Shot Goblin good. Okay, Electrostatic Bolt. Oh man, but there's another Spike Shot Goblin. Electrostatic Bolt's really good because it can be used against artifact creatures and non-artifact creatures. It's better against artifact creatures. But a second Spike Shot Goblin. I don't have as many ways to pump him as I would like, so he's not as good as he could be. But it's definitely between the Bolt and the Spike Shot Goblin. I mean, I have 2 equipment right now. And Predator Strike, which I guess could be could be used pretty effectively, like if I block with my Goblin and then, kill something because of the trick and then use the Goblin's ability to ping my opponent. Bolt or Goblin? That's the question we have. And it's a good question. I think I'm going to take the Goblin. He can wear equipment and remove anything if you have enough stuff going on. Nightmare Lash would be good if we were black-red. Another Fangren Hunter I'm pretty happy about. Rustspore Ram is a pretty better than it looks sideboardable card because some decks run so much equipment. But the bad news is, in these olden days, they didn't put May Destroy on effects that were supposed to be good, positive enter the battlefield abilities. They liked just saying target equipment. So if I just had my Scimitar in play, it would blow it up, which is certainly annoying. Malachite Golem is fine, but I think Fangren Hunter is pretty clearly a lot better. So what does Mirror Golem do? Well, that's kind of a cool card, but it has to have, if they have a creature in the graveyard, it gets protection from creatures, but I think we just take the other Fangren Hunter. Ooh. Plated Slagworm's pretty nice finisher, as is One Dozen Eyes. We don't have a lot of ramp going on, but that might be okay. Another replica, I don't think we need that. It's either Plated Slagworm or One Dozen Eyes. One Dozen Eyes is another one of the entwined spells. You can pay 9 to put a 5/5 and 5/1 insects. And Plated Slagworm is just a big, hard to deal with creature. But he doesn't have evasion or trample or anything like that. But he is a pretty sweet card. So One Dozen Eyes or Plated Slagworm. This is another hard one. It's a good hard one to have. It means our 2 colors are pretty open when we had 2 questions like this on picks. But I think I'm going to take the One Dozen Eyes. It's easier to cast, and it has 2 modes, both of which can be pretty useful. Annul is another card that's very good in this format that, when it gets printed today, doesn't really get, it shows up in constructed sideboards, but not much else. Frogmite's not bad. Might be what I take here over another Turn to Dust for a sideboard or another Goblin replica. Yeah, I'll take a Frogmite. World Slayer. That's a pretty fancy equipment. You can destroy all permanents if you manage to hit your opponent with the creature you put it on. I think I just take Tree of Tales here. I mean, I have a Frogmite now, which cares about that sort of thing. And Clark Clan Grunt cares, but I guess most of our other cards don't care so much about artifacts. But I don't think I may not even play the one Lifespring Spellbomb I have, so I think I'll just take a Tree of Tales here. Steel Wall, not too bad. Vorak, also not bad. Brown Oaf isn't a bad sideboard card. A green card that has the word counter target on it, which is pretty rare. May just take the Steel Wall, though. Hold down the ground while we kill them with Spike Shot Goblins and stuff, I guess. Yeah. Turn to Dust. Here's a really bad card. I don't understand, like, why. I mean, it's a little better than it looks, but it's still pretty bad. Mask of Memory is actually pretty good. Letting me draw cards and stuff like that seems pretty sweet. It's better when you're in white and like your cat creatures that get equipped gain evasion of some kind. I'll take another Clark Clan Grunt, I guess. Probably not going to play two of them, but who knows. Our Glissa Sunseeker is probably our best single card. And our Spike Shot Goblins are up there too, of course. Mirrodin Joiner is not bad, especially if we can equip it up. Too bad we didn't get like Fireball. I think it's what I'll take here. It's like the same cycle as Spike Shot Goblin. I think there's only 2 cards in the cycle, though. Okay, Malachite Golem probably won't make our deck, but he can go over there. Which of these would I least want to play against? Probably the Mender. It would get pretty annoying, I think. I guess I'll take another one of these. Deconstruct also doesn't work too poorly with like Volshok Gauntlets, because we can blow something up and then use the mana to move our gauntlets. The gauntlets are pretty medium equipment, maybe even worse than medium, but it does have good synergy with Spike Shot Goblin and, also with Mirrodin Joiner, actually. I will take Assert Authority and another Mender. Okay, so we actually only ended up with like 2 cards with protection from artifacts, sadly, but I think I'm okay with that. We didn't see any of the big money rares this time. Last week when I drafted, I managed to open an Ensnaring Bridge, so getting an Oblivion Stone would have been pretty sweet, I think, but we didn't. That's okay. We've got to do some trimming here. I think this is probably only a 17 land deck. So we need to cut 5 cards. I think Life Spark Spellbomb's gone. Maybe one Clark Clan Grunt is gone too. And maybe even both of them. Do I want Mask of Memory? I mean, it's pretty efficient mana-wise for what it gets done, you know. I mean, if we had more flyers, it would be better, but we do have a couple tramplers. And protection from artifacts on a couple creatures who might be able to swing through a lot of boards. In the end, we didn't end up with any like really great removal for using against non-artifacts, which is a little concerning. So we kind of have to get lucky with what we end up facing, I think. I don't know if I want Steel Wall. I mean, it doesn't work so well with equipment, for example, although I guess it makes Volshok Gauntlets, the downside on it doesn't really matter, but, you know, it'd make it into a 4/6 blocker, which is pretty sweet. I think I probably do cut the other Grunt. Do I want Mirrodin Joiner? I think in a world where I have Volshok Gauntlets, I probably do. Because not only can I add a bunch of mana if I have Volshok Gauntlets in play, it can be used to help me move Volshok Gauntlets around and stuff like that. So I think I probably want both replicas. It's going to have plenty of stuff to destroy. We need to cut like 2 more cards. Decisions. I mean, how many artifacts do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then the 2 lands. I mean, probably leaving Frogmite in is wise, given that we have so many. Yeah, I mean, I am leaning towards the wall. It's definitely a good sideboard card if I go up against a really fast deck, but in these olden days when creatures aren't that great, most matchups are pretty grindy, and cards like Spike Shot Goblin win it out for you in the long run. One more card, guys. I think we want Needlebug. It can be sort of a de facto removal spell at times, and its evasion that it has frequently in its format's good. Goblin War Wagon. It's also pretty good with full shot gauntlets especially, but in general I think it's fine. 1 Dozen Eyes isn't a bad sort of late game, like it's a great late game top deck. I mean, usually we're probably just going to pick one of the modes and not entwine it, but those modes are pretty good for what you're investing. Creeping Mold, are you a little too clunky when I have like Shatter, Deconstruct, Goblin Replica? You might be. I guess Pyrite Spellbomb can kill anything, but it has to be small. Yeah, I think I will side out Creeping Mold. I mean, it's good, but we have better removal, I think. Less clunky removal. And we can side it in if we go up against someone who has a problem enchantment or, I guess, problem land, too. But alright, so we already have 2 green sources, and our deck is definitely way more green than red, but we do want to have a decent amount of red laying around so we can activate Granite Shards, Goblin Replicas, Spike Shot Goblins, Pyrite Spellbombs, and stuff like that, but we don't need a massive amount of red, certainly. Okay, probably not that lopsided. Not that lopsided either. So, how many lands do we have already? 3. So I think and that's 10 green sources, so. Yeah. And I think we can probably manage 1 more mountain. I think 10 green sources is probably plenty. Although, yeah, I think 6 red sources is probably better. May even want more than that now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, we want to be able to play our Spike Shot Goblins. We don't have any fixing at all, so yeah, I think I cut 1 more and add mountain. Eh. 7 and 7 is probably wrong, actually. So back to the forest. I think that's better. I mean, we do have lots of activated abilities that cost red, but I think we'd rather make sure we have forest before we make sure we have mountains. You know, our best creatures are all green, other than Spike Shot Goblin, I guess. So, all right. Well, I think this will be our deck. We'll see how it does. It has very strong removal, and Glissa Sunseeker is amazing. So. Hopefully we can manage a long run in this single elimination tournament. I will see you guys in round 1, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.